Hi everybody, this is Dan doing a new video. This is going to be several months long. I've done some major rework in the basement, got rid of a lot of plants, started a lot of them, I'm starting over from leaves, lost a fair number of them due to some rot, had a little bit of a thrip problem, so I am starting everything over. There's leaves going here, but the purpose of this video today is showing how I start my plants from seed. And to start off, I'm going to show you all of my materials, what I use. I got them laid out here on the floor. I'll be putting them on my little roller shelf. The first thing, and some of this might sound kind of trite, but just to make sure that you got everything available, is pen and paper, so you can write down what it is you're doing and when you're doing. I've got a aluminum foil baking pan. That's going to be where I sow the seed. The 2 cups there are various seed packs. These cups here, the clear one I'm using as a flat bottom because I use that to tamp down the seed to firm it up a little bit. Inside the little white one is just some little clear pieces of pink plastic that I use to mark off my rows. This is just a container where I will put some water in there to float my aluminum foil seed bed to make sure it gets thoroughly saturated. Half sheet of paper, using it to help spread the seed. A plant label to make rows in my seed bed. Gallon jug for some water. My seed mix, and I use just a regular old seed starting mix from Miracle-Gro. These are generally sterile already, so I don't have too much of a problem. And I use a regular seed flat thing with the high dome. I do not use the ones that are fitting close. I think that the humidity gets way too high on those, but these are the materials that I use, and as I start doing it, you'll see how I use them. So I've got all these out, so now I'm ready to start. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, now we are ready to start in earnest. I need to mark where my camera is at so I don't get out of that range. Let's see here. Okay, right there. Alright, the first thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that we get drainage on our container. Simply put, all you do, take a nail, I usually pop in 9 holes. If it gets a little bent, that's alright. Flatten it out later. Just do it in a neat little pattern of 9. I've got one here that I've already done. This one I've used before. And you can see, hopefully, there's 9 holes in here. I like using the aluminum pans. They're disposable. You can clean them maybe 2-3 times before they get corroded and stop working. But this one is ready for the soil mix. I've already cleaned it. It does discolor, the aluminum does, so don't look at this and think that it's not clean. Here's the potting soil. This is what was in the bag, and this, I don't know if you can tell, but is really kind of dry. It's not bone dry because you can see it still has some darkness to it. What I did was I just took a little bit of it, put it in a container, added some hot water to it, just a little, mixed it up good with my hand. You can see that it does kind of pack down a little bit, whereas this just is dusty and fly away. Get this out of the way. It's critical that your soil's not sopping wet. The reason because you can't work with it. You make mud. So what I do with my containers, just I fill it up. And these containers are about an inch or so deep. And I like these because it gives the seedlings a little bit of room for root growth. It's large enough to where they don't dry out really quickly. They do hold on to their moisture for a bit. What I do once I've got the container filled up is I just tamp this down so I have a smooth, even bed. And if I see, something big that I know is going to be a problem, I can just pull that out. Maybe put a little bit more in. And as I do this, I think I'll talk a little bit. One of the things to keep in mind is on these videos when you see people do stuff, they're showing you what works for them. I'm showing you what works for me. There's no right or wrong way to do something. Well, I guess there is a wrong way. If you have absolutely no success at all, it's not working for you. But this is just meant as a guide to help you if you're having problems, or if you just want to see how somebody else does something. Because heaven knows everybody, plant addicts, we just eat this kind of stuff up. Now, my plan in here is, now I could plant all of this with just one kind of seed. And if I was a commercial grower, I might actually do that, but I just do this for myself. And that would just give me way too many seeds. So what I'll do is I'll take like a plant label, and since my mix is somewhat damp, it'll hold its shape a little bit. I just come right down here the center, and you may not be able to see it very well, but I divide this in half. Doesn't have to be perfect. And even still, for two, that's a lot. It's a lot of plants to plant. What I do is I will take, in this case I plan on doing 12 different kinds of seed. A mix of Streptocarpus hybrid seed and some Synengias. So I will just, let me see, I want to have 6 rows going across. So I'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4, yep, 5. Well, I didn't do well. Let me try that again. And plus, if you make a mistake, it's easy enough to fix. Let's try this again. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'll just extend it on over to this side. Now, some people might do this and actually just plant within like the squares inside here. But me, I'm a country boy farmer at heart. I like to plant in rows, so I'm going to be putting my seed in each individual row. And what I've done is I got some little plastic Q-tips. I'm going to use these to mark my rows, just so I keep track of where they're at. Since I got 2 sides and I've written down everything that I've done, I put one little marker here on this side, so this will be marked as side 1. This will be side 2. Actually, I could just as easily put 2 here. That way it's really clear. And then I just get my rows here ready. Oops. Gosh darn it. One thing about doing it this way is it helps to keep me from planting too many seeds. So it gives me a way to put a little bit of restraint on myself. Okay, so now this is ready to start planting. Now I've already taken the time before I started this, and I wrote down everything that I'm going to be planting. This will be, I don't know where my pen got to. It's going to be side 1, and this is going to be side 2. Got them all labeled, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The dates that I'm planting them, 7, 15, 14. I like to keep track as I check when things sprout. I will just mark on here what day it sprouted. I don't do anything with the information, but I just do it. So that's part's ready. Now, okay, now the first thing that I'm going to plant is, actually it's an actual gloxinia. Oh, it probably got renamed or something, not a, who knows what. But my sheet of paper that I use, and I will move this out of the way so you can see what I'm doing, is I fold a little bit of a crease down here at the end. Because what I can do is I'll take my seed pack, as soon as I get this darn thing open, and hopefully you guys will be able to see just how fine this seed is. Just tap out some seed. Oops. I don't want a whole lot. Actually, I think that might be all that I have. Yep, sure is. Yeah. You can see those black specks are the seed, and it's going to be absolutely impossible to try to get something like that planted individually. So what I do is I've got it on that piece of paper. There we go. And I will take the corner of this piece of paper with my fingers and start tapping it. And as I tap it, the seed will fall into the crease and start creeping down that crease. And then once it gets to the edge, you can let them gauge and let the seed fall in one at a time and try to spread them out a little bit. And it takes a little bit of practice to do this, but you go down the row, and since I used up all the seed on this one, and it is old seed, some of this seed I got is really old, I'm going to take some of the extra and just throw it in this space back here. Normally I don't do that, but I really don't think this seed is going to last much longer, so I'm just going to go ahead and get it out. And that's it. I'm going to do that for every row that I got in here. The next that I'm going to plant here is I got some Gesneriad speciosa seeds that I got from Hector Wong. He had a thing on Facebook to try to grow out some Charles Lawn hybrid seed on the condition that we keep him posted on how they're doing. And I do well with speciosas, so I sent him $1 through PayPal and I got the seed. And here again, the seed is pretty small, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to be in line number 2 and just tap these things down. Nice thing about this is that I don't need to have my glasses on to do it, because I can see where the crease is just fine. And if I have a little extra, I might just go back down, because I spread these out pretty far. I mean, there's only about half a dozen, well, a little over a dozen seed in here. So 12 little plants in here is not going to overcrowd them because I'll be taking them out before they get too much size to them. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to plant all of these just like I did the rest of these. I'm going to plant, I got some Synengia Slovii, mine died out and got froze out. Some Synengia retzii times Rupicola, a cross that I made. Rupicola itself. And then I've got Synengia Wormingii aggregata times yellow aggregata. And then for my streps, I got my cross of Strep Dale's Polar Midnight times Isabella, Ice Pink Flamingo times Vampire's Kiss, Salmon Sunset times Harlequin. Oh, I forget. I got the name somewhere. I got a Pink Streptocarpella Passiflora, I believe is the name of that. Ice Pink Flamingo times an unnamed purple seedling. This was the very first planned strep cross I ever made. And then from that cross, one of those seedlings, I also have Ice Pink Flamingo times purple seedling times Ice Pink Flamingo times Emily. So I should get some variegated ones out of that. So I'll finish this up and then I'll come back and show you how I get these watered in.